Come on. Sweet. It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It is Friday the 26th of September, AD 2025. I believe next week will be the men's forum, the 2nd, October 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, right? We are well into fall now, I guess. And the views expressed on this show do not represent those of Hake, Bond, JLP, Anchor Baby, Derek, anybody else. You represent you, and you don't even represent yourself very well, if you ask me. Same with me. I don't even represent myself. So let's get going if we can. Take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. Take everything you think with a grain of salt. My goodness, these credulous, incredulous people. Credulous meaning gullible. Incredulous meaning suckers for their incredulity. You'll swallow the speculations of the incredulous rather than just and overthink stuff that doesn't even matter. My goodness. Why would the shooter go to Dairy Queen and get a blizzard? Shout out. You know what I mean? Shout out. I'm talking about my call with Zenny yesterday. Shout out to Zenny. Fun, interesting call. But yeah, calm down. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yes, I do, Tennis Shoe. You can call in, though. You're welcome to call in, all of you guys, except for those who have been banned from calling and are currently banned from calling. Because there's been banned people who got Jubilee. No more Jubilee for you. All right? You crossed the line. It's kind of like getting back with somebody in the emotional way with whom you've already been involved in an emotional way, and it wasn't right because you haven't really changed, and the other person hasn't really changed. So stay out of your head. It's not that important. What's up, Ponto King? Playing God. What's up? Thank you, Pastor Satellite, raiding the stream. The lines are filling up, and in addition to calling, those of you who are still welcome to call in, don't be speculating and thinking that you're not welcome. If I haven't explicitly said you're banned, then you're not banned, you suckers. But you can also super chat. There are people who are banned from calling who super chat, and I allow it. At this moment, I allow banned people to super chat because there's no ill will. It's kind of like I overheard another competitor of mine. It's interesting, you know, the two top, objectively top. So interesting to me. The two top conservative talk show hosts are banned from the top, head and shoulders, knees and toes above everybody else video platform to this day. And will they be unbanned? They got rebanned yesterday. These top competitors of mine, Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. But that was because of, according to a statement I read on a report about it, of ban evasion. You're not supposed to try to evade a ban by creating a new account. They had created new accounts and everybody were following them. Let's get AJ, my competitor, up to 1 million. So I understand that. I understand rebanning them for that. And they're like, oh, we're gonna start a program by which people who were banned for political speech can reapply and get unbanned. But they haven't started the program yet. And by the way, no promises that these two top voices the two top voices for conservatism in America. The top voices alive today. Hat tip to the late, great Charlie Kirk. Because he was a competitor, I suppose. He was up there, maybe. But I don't think he was even on the level of those guys. He was more of a successful businessman and activist and pro Republican get out the vote activist than a host, than a thinker. So he had a good head on his shoulders. It's interesting, huh? And the whole government, mainstream media, social media, banks, courts, which is the government, huge companies such as YouTube, supposedly American company like Google, not enforcing the First Amendment on the rest of the world and allowing the First Amendment for these guys. But no, the culture is anti-freedom of speech. You know, because there's the First Amendment. Oh, yes, it's the government, right? The government can impose on your speech. But there is the spirit of the freedom of speech that Trump has, by the way, even though he thinks that it's a good thing that what's the other guy? Jimmy Kimmel. Trump does have the spirit of the freedom of speech, but he was right that it was good for America. It would have been good for America had Jimmy Kimmel lost his low ratings show. 6 million is not low ratings, Hake. Yeah, but that sounds high. 6 million viewers, right? Referring to Jimmy Kimmel, right? Okay, I don't think 6 million sounds high in other contexts, of course. So I find that interesting. The entire culture is a culture against the freedom of speech, the freedom really to tell the truth. Because those guys tell the truth, brother, or at least tell the facts. And sometimes they may speculate and be wrong, just like everybody else. So that's very interesting to me. I just wanted to make sure, I guess, to mention that, whatever. The top voices alive are censored by the top platform, because Rumble does not even come close to kissing the toenail of YouTube in terms of user experience and reach and awesomeness. All right? It's just a fact. All right? It just is. So, whatever. The disclaimer's out of the way, and I think we're good to go. Am I being drowned out by the beach surf noises? Oh, it's Friday. Is it Friday? My goodness. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It is the A.J. Gallardo original theme song of the Hake Report. Liberal musician. I don't know if he would, I don't think that he would take issue with me calling him liberal. He once asked me, "Are you a Nazi?" Because our other friends are my former friends, I guess. We're like, "Oh, he's a Nazi," just because I'm white and conservative. Ridiculous, huh? Well, it's like calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi. What a mess. I'm like even more normie than Charlie Kirk, okay? Except that I fly under the radar, so I can get away with saying more. But anyway, let's just everybody get right on with the. Let me not sound so autistic. Let me sound artistic. Show.
The Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Miguelado original theme song. It's so good. So nice.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I got my, I chuckled as I donned this shirt this morning. I had a different one on, and then I was like, oh, let me try another one. And I'm like, nah, this one feels too tight. And then I put on this one, and it actually feels a little bit better. You know, it's still not perfect. And I chuckled because it is the what's his name called? The little you got your little boy shirt on, Hake. That's my failed impression of William III. JesseLeePeterson.shop. Perhaps you can get yours there. Beware of the children of the lie. The children of the lie, JLP has called them. The mainstream, I forget who all it is. Democrats, Rhino, Republicans, mainstream media, never Trumpers, stuff like that. Children of the lie. Children of the lie. It was a common phrase 2016 through 2018, 2020, I don't know. Nice. So anyway, yeah, JesseLeePeterson.shop. Nice. I think that you can get it there. And we'll find out, okay? Let me see. Let me just look. Children of the... Yes, indeed, you can. Yep, and it's 100% cotton too, by the way. Most of them. Some of them are heather, so they're partly polyester. Heathered is usually a polyester, I think. And sometimes solid color has polyester in it too. FYI. Heathered is the sort of splotchy thing. So nice, huh? I should think so. You know, let me get with Hayden in Texas on the line here before I get into the topics and stuff. Hayden, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Hake?
Going well. How about you?
Doing good. But before I get to what I called in for, I heard Mark say he didn't want to call in anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a huge mistake in my opinion. Us whites need to come together on one truth. I'm not saying like either you were wrong or he was wrong or whatever for what he said.
Yeah.
But us whites need to come together on one truth. It really doesn't. You know, the non-whites they're just scattered. They want to. The majority of them want to just tear down the country and just spread misinformation to, you know, cause confusion. Without the exceptions of like people like, well, I always bring up William. William's a great example of the exception who wants the best for America. But
Right.
but whites need to come together on one truth, and I think it's important for for people to hear what Mark has to say whenever he calls in. So
yeah, I was thinking about that too, man. That's what anger does, though, because anger will split up the whites and divide over nothing. And so
exactly right.
and like you said, without taking any sides or blaming one or the other, it's not right to be divided. You know, the Bible talks about Christians should not be divided. Your brothers
Correct.
should not be bickering and quarreling and gossiping and slandering and hating and accusing one another. And that is
Exactly right.
well taken, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And it sounded like he was paraphrasing one of my favorite quotes ever. You said it was stupid in the way that he said it, but can I give you a short quote really quick? I think this is what he was paraphrasing.
Okay.
But I don't want to put words in his mouth if this wasn't the quote he was using. But the quote reads, "Without a deadly hate of that which threatens what we love, love is an empty catchword for hippies, queers, and cowards." And that's from George Rockwell.
Okay.
Someone that Mark brings up quite often as well.
Right.
So that sounded like what Mark was paraphrasing yesterday, and that's one of my favorite quotes ever.
Right.
in George Lincoln Rockwell's context, would you agree with that quote?
Of course, because, and I understand why Mark thinks that, because the only love he's ever seen has been emotional love, which is not the real thing, which is what the LGBTs, Qs, you mentioned the Qs, the queer,
Right. Yeah.
and women and whoever else, the phonies, the phony false love, where you just get along with everybody, and that's the false love that you see Charlie Kirk's wife have, and probably Charlie Kirk himself, honestly. He was at least subject to that false emotional love, just like everybody else is. At least at some points, it seemed to me that nice fake Christian thing, where and so he's just writing off the whole concept because he doesn't know what the real thing is, I think.
Right.
Because when I quote Jesus, the communists do use that "love your enemies." I think some people accuse the Jews of creating Christianity in order to control the whites and force them to love their enemies, because the loving your enemies thing is misapplied, misused. So I totally get your quote.
Yeah. I'm sure Mark will appreciate you acknowledging that. Number one, the Christian and the Jew thing. I've heard that quite often about the Jews created Christianity to control the whites or whatever.
Love your enemies, goy.
Yeah. Good goy.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard that before. I don't agree with that, because Jews, like Mark said yesterday, to this day they strongly hate and condemn Christ. To this day.
Yeah. You know what? There was a JLP. Does he seem like a pushover to you, even though he says that he has no anger and he loves everyone?
I heard Mark say that. Me personally, no. I understand where JLP's coming from.
Yeah, because he called out the Jewish Ben Shapiro for not loving Trump, and JLP said, "You're supposed to love your enemies," and Ben Shapiro's like, "I don't have to do that. That's a Christian thing." But what he doesn't realize is one, he probably doesn't even know what love is, and two, he doesn't realize that that's Trump's power. Trump has love, and he has no emotional anger or hatred or malice or fear or those emotional things controlling him to speak of, that no one can really point to any time where he's really lost control. He's always been just a real guy and never moved too far one way or the other.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I appreciate what Trump said. I think it was, I saw the post yesterday. Someone posted it yesterday. He's defended the far right twice ever since Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Nice.
And
really?
Once in the White House and once on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
Ever since Charlie was murdered. Go ahead.
I personally really loved when in Charlottesville, Virginia, he's like, "What about the alt left?" He's like, "There were very fine people on both sides." And of course, like a boomer should, and like a boomer would, and like a politician should nowadays under this type of thinking. Oh, he said, "I condemn the white supremacists," or whatever, white nationalists, totally. And some of the white nationalists, they were liberal ones, former liberals, they took that personally, like he condemned them personally. But that's so meaningless, because a politician is supposed to say that, Whereas if you were to talk with somebody, you could understand where you're coming from. So anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, especially he was a lot different in the, what was that, 2017 when the Charlottesville thing happened? 2017?
Yeah, that was August 2017.
He was a lot different back then compared to what he is now. I mean, he again, like I just said, he's said nothing but good things about the far right ever since Charlie Kirk was murdered, and he completely condemned the left and the far left completely.
Yeah.
Ever since that happened. So, I think he's waking up, and that's a great thing for our country if he is.
Yeah,
So.
totally. And he's right that the violence, they lie and pretend like the white radicals, if you will, are the primary threat, and they sometimes are a threat. Dylan Roof, for example, and whatever else. But the vast majority of the violence, be it ineffective, be it less effective, right, is from the so-called left.
Oh,
They're
absolutely.
the ones who are stoking the violence and anger and stuff. And it's
undeniable.
They're in the establishment. It's crazy.
Nice. Right, yeah. I mean, their crime, they commit way more crime. It's undeniable. They come out with these fake stats. But one of your competitors, he apparently the Trump administration removed a fake stat that the white nationalists are the most dangerous people in America or whatever, and your competitor, who's a far left liberal, he was just like, he was totally upset with them removing that because it counters their narrative.
Yeah.
People are waking up the quote unquote stats are just a label to put on the good guys.
Yeah, totally. It's so crazy. So, we don't fall for it anymore.
No, we're done.
I don't know, a lot of us never did. I mean, you look at even hate crimes, the per capita, if you even believe in hate crimes, I don't. But blacks are the primary perpetrators per capita. They get arrested and charged more than anybody, maybe even convicted, for so-called hate crimes. What a mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But the reason I call, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know there's some other callers.
Yeah.
The reason I called in, and I know what you and Jesse say, and I agree with this, by the way, that thoughts are evil, all thoughts are all lies all the time.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Nice.
But this is something to very much considering what's gone on ever since last year with them trying to take out Trump at least twice, and then also what they did with Charlie Kirk. Has it crossed your mind at all that the way the right responded in my opinion, and you may agree with this as well, in such a weak way to what happened with Charlie Kirk, has it crossed your mind at all that this could happen again? Because the left sees how weak the right is right now. That something like what they did to Trump last year twice,
right,
and what happened with Charlie Kirk can happen again, because of the weak response from the right.
I think that I'm afraid I don't see anything stopping it other than the crackdown from Trump, and but that's not going to stop it. No, of course it's going to keep on going.
What do you mean?
Right now we have a so-called justice system that does not mete out, METE, I think is the word. I'm not sure. Mete out swift justice. And it does not mete out justice at all in many cases. They say justice delayed. There's a saying, and it may be true, justice delayed is justice denied. If you let somebody get away with something for long enough, then there's basically nobody. There's no There's no putting on notice those who would do this again, those who would commit an assassination or even attempt one. We need a public carrying out of capital punishment.
I agree. I agree 100% with that.
And I don't have any really ill will towards the young man who did it. I think I see him as just a blind sucker. My emotions, I would almost pity him, if I were into emotions about it. But this guy, objectively speaking, you need tomorrow, right after he's convicted without any reasonable doubt of the we'll call it an assassination, not just a murder. It needs to be tomorrow. That he hangs or whatever, whatever the just and dispassionate, and no kissing up to the victim's statements, the victim's family, or anything like that. No emotions allowed. I don't like these victim impact statements or loved one impact statements. That's not what it's about. It's not about revenge. It's not about emotions. It's about carrying it out quickly, so that not just justice, but also like putting everybody on notice. This is what will happen to you, and it's righteous if you try this. You know what I mean? Because that guy did that.
I 100% agree.
Because he was in his head, and it's like what Terry said yesterday. I know a lot of people talk all kinds of crap about Terry, but she had a great call yesterday about so-called first-time offenders getting caught. And if you're caught in a so-called first-time offender, it's probably not your first time committing that crime. You just got away with it for several times.
Right.
And
I agree with that.
It took in Portland or wherever she grew up, I don't know, her childhood friend or whatever, a bunch of times getting caught and punished for, what is that thing where you're shoplifting, before she even started to rethink her actions. You get away with something, you do it more and more and more. I know that the justice system is not going to happen that way. That's why I'm saying that it's going to keep on talking. I mean, it's going to keep on happening.
Well, I mean, there's been some politicians pushing for what you just said, and I completely agree with it. So,
and you're right. The phony forgiveness. There's these Christians calling in, or Jesus followers calling in. Shout out to that other guy from Texas. Another young man from Texas thinks that Trump has hatred in his heart, and that Charlie Kirk's wife and Austin Metcalf's dad showed the love of Christ by forgiving, making a big show of forgiveness.
That was completely pathetic.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Metcalf. That was just that was disgusting.
Yeah.
To put it in clear words, but
that's not real. That's Christianese training to quote unquote forgive your enemy, and really it's broadcasting your forgiveness before all. And you're thinking that, and maybe in your twisted, dark, dumb mind, you may be thinking, oh, you're setting a good example for all, that you should be forgiving. But everybody's doing that, and it's unremarkable. It always makes the news and headlines. It's only remarkable in how remarkably banal or banal, I don't know how to pronounce that word, that it is. It's so typical, hokey, lubby-dubby, fake Christian to do that. Anyway, shout out.
Right, yeah. And the sad thing is, to add on to what I was saying earlier, it comes across as Jeff Metcalf being a quote unquote conservative or a Republican, but I mean he responded the same way the majority of the right responded to Charlie Kirk, and that's extremely dangerous for our country. If we want to preserve, conserve our country.
Yeah.
Conserve. If we want to conserve our country, that is the absolute wrong way to respond to something so tragic like that. Like his son being, murdered that way.
Yeah.
Jeff Metcalf.
Right.
And the way he responded. I mean, my dad told me, he said if that ever happened to me, we talked about this when it first happened. He said, if that ever happened to you, son, you wouldn't want to know what I would do to the to the person that did it to you. I said, I completely agree. I think that was such a weak response.
Yeah.
From Jeff Metcalf.
The part of why I say this about the swift justice is because I had a great call from Chad O. Jackson called in during that track meet incident, in the aftermath of that track meet incident, saying that this guy who Carmelo with not the basketball star, should go away for a long time, and it should be because you don't want to do a slap on the wrist pretending like that's okay. That was so over the top It's nothing to do with self-defense. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Well, so me personally, and a lot of people share this belief too, I think Carmelo should get the same punishment as Irina's killer and Charlie Kirk's killer, because especially Carmelo Anthony, because his defense team has been lying ever since the thing happened, that this was self-defense. And everyone knows this was not self-defense. They refused to release the camera footage of what happened because they're afraid for the public to see how, how we just savagely attacked Austin Metcalf. That's what they're afraid of, honestly. That's why they're not releasing the footage.
I don't know, but there's no reason this young man should be having a knife in at the at the track meet.
No, exactly.
And producing it and stabbing the guy in the heart. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and of all people, who did he stab? Some white conservative young kid, of course. His first murder is on a white person, of course.
Thank you, Hayden.
It's a well moment right there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Hayden. It's good to hear from you, man.
Thank you much. Have a good day, Hake.
You as well. Bye. Let me actually get to Mark in Los Angeles, mentioned earlier. Mark, thanks for calling and holding. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to, first of all, start off. I missed the first part of your show today. What was the quote that Hayden gave from Rockwell?
He said that love is an empty catchword from LGBTQ and others, women and stuff like that. It's
you
not
mean the kind of love? Okay, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Was that the quote?
Yeah, he said unless you hate your enemy, something like that.
Well, the quote was, "You can't love anybody or anything unless you hate what tries to hurt it."
Uh-huh.
The situation with Charlie Kirk and President Trump at his funeral, saying that he hates his enemies. Well, I do too. And when you say you don't, I'm talking about you. You're lying. I mean, it's as simple as that. You're lying.
When have I said that I don't?
You may hate me for saying it, but it's the truth.
When have I said that I don't hate my enemies?
You always say it. You and Jesse try to put me on the spot.
I don't believe that I have ever said I don't hate my enemies.
Yeah, you did. You tried that trick on me a couple weeks ago when I last called. Well,
I asked you if you love your enemies because you're this big Christian.
And I don't.
You claim.
You should already know that I don't.
And Jesus said to love your enemies.
Yeah, I'll let Jesus judge me, not you. And furthermore,
okay, fine. That's fair. So why don't you let Jesus judge you now rather than later? No, you're not.
What do you mean?
You're waiting until you die. You don't even care about that. You don't even care about Jesus' command.
If I go to hell,
true or false? True or false? You completely dismiss that command to love your enemies.
Well, I'm going to let him judge me.
True or false?
I do hate man. And let me just say this.
True or false, Mark?
What?
You completely dismiss that command to love your enemies.
That's not in the Ten Commandments.
No. True or false?
You said command.
True or false?
True or false? I hate my enemies. How many ways do I say?
True or false? You completely dismiss Christ's command.
No, I don't completely dismiss it. I hate the people that killed our Lord. And to get back to Rockwell.
You do, of course. You're not answering the question.
No, I'm not, because it's not a commandment. You're not going to. It is
Christ's command. Love your enemies.
You're not going to play word games.
All right, goodbye, Mark.
Hold a guilt trip on me. Not happening.
Goodbye, Mark, because you don't want to talk honestly with me.
No, I'm talking. I told you.
Nothing about you is honest. You're just accusing, and it's fake.
Nothing fake about it.
Yes, it is. And you're so hateful that you are separating from your fellow Christian men like JLP and Hake and falsely accusing us of judging you when you're the one judging us.
First of all, you people, I'm talking about you and Jesse.
Right.
You support the people that put Jesus on the cross. You're going to pay for it too. And that guy from Florida, that's not a threat, by the way.
Not true.
Huh?
Not true. You're falsely accusing us.
No, it's not a false accusation.
Those people are long dead. And you have the
Not
same
not their
you have the
descendants.
same evil
Not their
spirit.
descendants.
You have the same evil spirit of those who put
No
Jesus on the
way.
cross because they were
No
emotional and
way.
prideful.
No way.
Why are
The
you talking
people-
over me when I'm trying to make a point?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You have the same evil spirit of the Christ killer because you are emotional, prideful, taking sides, and you don't care about God. You don't care about Jesus. You completely
How do
dismiss
you
what he
know?
said.
Says you.
You
don't know
you
what's in
completely
my heart.
dismiss
You don't
love
know.
your
You're
enemies.
guessing. Pardon me?
You completely dismiss love your enemies because you don't even comprehend what love is.
Well, I'll
You
tell
just
you this.
believe in Lincoln Rockwell is your God. Lincoln
No, he's
Rockwell,
not.
George
No,
Lincoln Rockwell
no.
is your Jesus.
He showed the way
Yep,
to
see?
save white America.
See?
He showed the way.
Yep, he's your Jesus. You don't believe in Jesus,
Not
you
a-
believe in
not
George
a
Lincoln
chance.
Rockwell. He's your
Not a
hero.
chance. See, you're going to put words in my mouth.
It's a fact.
But that's
You put
okay.
words
I
in
don't-
my
that's
mouth,
not a
but I
fact.
put the truth
No
because
fact.
you're faking.
I'm faking.
Yes,
Prove it.
you're faking Christianity,
Prove it.
and you're falsely accusing.
I said prove it.
I just told you.
That's not proof.
You're proving it with your mouth.
Avoiding. It's just like Zenny said yesterday, the great Zenny.
Zenny
But you're-
is another
you're
angry
avoiding.
person. He admitted that he
Oh,
was
no,
heated.
no. Oh, yeah, everybody that disagrees with you is angry.
Is
No,
he angry or
Zenny
not?
told
He
the
admitted
truth.
that he's angry.
I don't care. I'm angry too, and so are
Right,
you.
you're angry
You
and
just
blind.
don't admit it. No, you just don't admit it.
But
Okay.
what good does it do you whether or not I'm angry and you getting one
Well,
on me
because
for
you're
calling
a
me angry?
hypocrite. You called me.
And my being a
person-
hypocrite, you calling me a hypocrite, what good does that do you when we're talking about you
Oh, no.
and your false Christianity?
Not false. You're false.
What good does it
Christianity.
do you?
I think that Kentucky John.
All you're doing is
exposed
just
you.
you're doing the same thing
He
that
exposed
communists
you.
do.
You told everybody that Trump was to be excused. I don't know how you put it, but you basically covered for Trump's comment at Charlie's funeral about he can't love his enemy or whatever it was. He said.
Can you read a man?
Well, you can't.
Answer
Because
my
I can
question.
tell
Can
you, I
you
feel
read a
the
man?
same way- I feel the same way that Trump does.
No, you
Are
don't.
we both
How do
going
you
to
how
hell?
do you know what
Are
Trump
we
feels?
both going to hell?
Are you a woman that you know what Trump feels?
Well, first of all, you hate women.
Are you
So
a
let's
woman
just-
that you know what Trump feels?
No, you hate women. That's why you're willing to let
Nuh-uh.
them be
No,
sacrificed.
you made
on
a claim that you
espionage.
know what Trump feels,
No,
and you have
I-
no
I-
idea what Trump feels.
And neither do you.
I know, but
And
you're the one
neither
making
do
the
you.
you're the one making the claim that Trump has hatred in his heart just because he used the word hate.
No, I'm just going by what he said.
I
and
know
what I
exactly
said.
because you don't
We
know, you
care
can't read a
about
man.
One another.
I
We
asked you if
don't-
you can read a man, and then you're like, well, you can't because you can't answer the question.
I don't know. That's not a kind of.
So then
I'm
why
not
are
a
you trying to
psychologist.
read
No, that's
hatred
you.
into Trump?
No, that's you.
You're claiming that
You
he has the
said
same
that
hatred as you, and you have no clue.
Okay, you told everybody that, including Kentucky John, that somehow Trump's hatred is to be acceptable, but mine's a bad spirit. That's garbage.
How is it
That's
garbage?
Self-hate. That's self-hate from a self-hating white man. And another thing I want to
How is
point
that
out-
garbage? It doesn't make sense.
No, what you said
All
is
you're
garbage.
doing is just
No,
accusing
no,
with
no.
zero evidence, zero logic.
No, it's on tape.
Just a false, blind, judgmental woman.
Excuse Trump's statement about hate.
There is no,
But
he said nothing wrong.
I don't think he did either.
So then why,
And-
what's to excuse?
Well, no, because you're condemning me because you're a hypocrite.
No,
But you're allowing
you're
Trump to
obviously
say-
hateful.
No, that makes me feel so bad. I
I'm not
hate the
trying to make
people
you
that-
feel bad,
I
woman.
know, because you can't do it. But the people that
I'm
I
not
hate
trying
are
to
the-
make you feel bad.
Are you going to let me talk?
Nope.
I didn't think so. I just want to say this to David in Ocala. Go, the Jew lover down there.
Bye. Goodbye, Mark. What did I say? Typical. Peace and quiet. Let's get to Anthony in SoCal. Speaking of Jewish people lovers, what's up, Anthony in SoCal?
Oh my gosh, hey, that's funny. Am I coming through okay?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, before I move on, I just want to respond to Hayden's 2 points. Yeah, the ADL actually, did you know they classify far right political violence as like when skinheads like fight in prison?
Really?
Yeah, dude.
And you know what? The Aryan Nation, I heard, which is the prison gang, right? Was founded in response to whites getting raped in prison by blacks. And so it was founded as a self-defensive organization. And of course, angry people become offensive too. Not just self-defense, but also openly violent, right? So this whole thing is backwards. Typical ADL, the so-called Anti-Defamation League, which only breeds resentment towards Jews on purpose. Very clever. I think Kevin Howe pointed that out. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, I think the idea is to reply to Hayden's last point is they want to provoke a reaction to be able to use that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like we have to be careful about it. But I get what Hayden's saying. He's right. Like things like this will keep happening, but we're not fighting fire with fire. We're not the right isn't a violent party. We're not deranged like that. At least the modern right.
Yeah.
We're not shooters. We're not thieves. We're not robbers. We don't do that. We use our words and our ideas to combat that. So I get what he's saying though. But I want to make a follow up with yesterday's call really quick. So my contention, Hake, is that the Israel and the Jews are not like the final boss. They're not like the source of all this evil. And
I know.
I mean,
it's like they don't even believe that Satan is real and in them to overcome.
Yeah,
they don't even see that Satan is possessing them. These Jew blamers, like angry Zenny, he was cussing up a storm and not even. He's like, "Sorry, Hake, I was heated," because he's emotional, and he knows that he's wrong. So,
yeah, I apologize. I apologize to the Canadian callers. I love Jermaine and I love I think his name is Michael, the guy who does.
Yeah.
Who's that? Yeah. So I know a lot of Canadians too.
What about, so you don't love Zenny?
Oh no, I love Zenny. I pray for him,
is that just phony Christian love, or were you looking down on him?
No, I sincerely, because the problem is,
because you practically slandered the man as a pornography addict.
Well, I was just in my imagination. Well, so the thing is, I was in my imagination about it because here's the thing, Hake.
Yeah.
You notice how a lot of young men are delaying they're delaying becoming a man because they're looking at all these external problems instead of looking inward.
Right.
They're like blaming like the Jews for the porn, for the health care. Like the guy's not even in the United States and he's saying you don't have health care. Dude, if you don't have health care, get a better job.
Right.
If you can't get a better job, get better skills. Become a welder, become a plumber, get your contractor's license. Like, dude, stop like female dogging, and just get on it, That's the problem.
Right.
So I don't look down on him. I kind of pity him because he's in that. You know how when you're young, Hake, you're like an idealist and you think you could like make change, and like you want to, you watch too much MLK or whatever the school's feeding you, and you think like, obviously, yeah, you can make change, but it's not like something you should become fixated on.
You think that you think the most important thing is to spread the word about the evil Jays, and you think you got to get on Hake's platform, and Hake, if he doesn't let you speak your thing, then Hake is just a shill, and Hake is a gatekeeper, and you're making something so important that you have zero effect on. Actually, if anything, you're just making them more powerful, but worldly powerful, by you fighting against it.
Yeah, and you kind of, and at the same time, since like the devil kind of gains a foothold in your mind.
Yeah, totally.
And like, for example, like the main reason I called was because of his claims about the Holocaust. And I listened, and I know this is like a sensitive topic, but I listened to the call again and what you responded. So he said Hitler did the right thing, right? And then you said there's a right way to go about it. And then he said Hitler did go about it the right way. And then he just started hopping on the fence about how Hitler went about it. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult Hake's intelligence. Don't insult the audience intelligence and pretend like we don't know what happened and just hide in the corners of history.
Well,
right?
In all honesty, if he doesn't know the ins and outs of how he went about it, because let's pretend that a lot of us don't really necessarily know what happened. If you don't really know what happened, how are you going to say he did it the right way?
Exactly.
That's a false assumption. You made an ASS out of you and me. Shout out.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
kids.
I mean,
don't sound that out, kids.
Yeah, it's demagoguery, Hake. That's what it is. You know, it's like, and I'm not going to smack on Zenny, you know, the whole call. Last thing I want to say is the idea that, okay, he says the Jews will be a scourge to the earth, like it says maybe in Deuteronomy or Jeremiah, which in the context, you know, maybe Alan could go on that, but my understanding is those who follow the law, you know, will be blessed, and those who don't follow the law will become a scourge or a curse.
Yeah, and that's literally everybody who don't follow the law. Love God and love your neighbor as yourself. That's not a commandment.
Right. No.
That is the top two commands.
It is. You're right. It applies to everybody. And where you see the devil has a foothold is because out of his mouth he says, well, the Jews of today aren't the descendants of Jesus. They're not Semites. That's why they don't allow genetic testing or whatever he said.
Descendants of Judah, yeah.
Yeah, so out of one part he says they're a scourge to the earth, and out of the other part he says
they're not even real.
They're exact. Like, dude, what are we saying here, bro?
I know. Yeah.
It's contradiction. This is how you know this is like you're not saying the truth, first of all, because the truth has no contradictions.
Right.
Right. The truth stands for itself.
Yeah.
So that was really the intention of my call the other day was what we're sounding like liberal media, you know, where I call it 8-ball incitement. There's probably more appropriate word for it, but it's like the scratch ball is Trump is a Nazi, and then the 8-ball is we need to take care of these Nazis. You're still following the First Amendment. You know, you're not inciting violence. You're not directing hatred towards anyone. But anyone with a mind will connect that scratch ball to that 8-ball and act on it. You know, and that's kind of what I felt he was, you know, hopping. He wasn't inciting violence necessarily, but he was justifying it.
Right.
You know, and I just don't, you know, you could do that. I just don't think that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the main purpose of my call. But the last thing I want to touch on, I didn't get to explain really what Fabian Socialism is and how, you know, the Jews aren't the last boss, so to speak. Zenny, if you're really interested, look and you know, you say that I don't, I just listen to the news. The majority of my information, I really try to read a lot of books about this, not to sound like, you know, some intellectual, but the news has nothing about the history about these conflicts or, you know, the Jews. Look into Moses Hess and political Zionism, his influence in debt. Look into Theodor Herzl. Look into Heinz Weizmann. Look at there's a book called Rothschilds and the Early Jewish Colonization, okay? And he made a point about how communism came out of the Jews, which I assume he was referencing Trotsky. Trotsky was used as control opposition to the Fabian Socialists by the those bankers. It slipped my mind. The Rockefellers, by the Rockefellers.
Okay.
So this is controlled opposition. All right, Jews are used as controlled opposition, and I don't even know what a Jew means at this point. You know, like you could be an atheist Jew, you could be like you could be a Jew. You could
I think it's primarily the Ashkenazis.
Okay, I'll make note of that. I didn't know that. But a lot of
all the white-looking Jews.
Yeah,
or the ones who are they may be mixed with other races too, or ethnicities too.
Oh, is that why Marx says they're not truly white because they're mixed? That makes
no,
sense
not necessarily.
now.
I don't know what that man means. I mean, they definitely. I mean, they're so different from normal whites. They are more sexual, perverted, openly that way. And whereas the whites have much more of at least the normal white, the Christian raised people are much more puritanical, if you will. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. A lot of that perversion and, I'm not saying it doesn't come from them innately. I just refuse to believe that because
they're more liberal per capita. Normal whites are more conservative per capita. Go ahead.
Yeah, they have a liberal influence. I just refuse to believe that you have inherent unchangeable qualities that affect your morality. I just refuse to believe that.
I think it's true. In the fallen state, think about in your fallen state, different families and different group think type people, and they are definitely a group think type people. The most important thing among Jews in a poll was to remember the Holocaust. Kind of like among blacks, they fall into this slavery and racism thinking. So there is and it's not just genetic; it's how they're raised and environment and all that stuff. But it's also it may also be genetic, where people just have the symptoms of their sin, of their inner anger, come out in much different ways, I think, or interested in typical ways, I think.
You bring up a good point. So I agree with that, but with a slight nuance to they can be changed.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like something that is set in stone, part of their blood, part of their DNA. Part of it is, but they can.
Even DNA
changed.
can be changed, but most people don't change that much, as my dad said.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah,
it's partly why this diversity crap is crap. Yeah, occasionally a man like you, or a man like Jesse Lee, or a man like, I don't know, Dinesh D'Souza. I'm kidding around and laughing around, but can be Americanized, assimilated fully as real American men and women, more American in spirit and loving whites and Christian and all that than even many native-born white American Christian people. I'm with that, but not for the most part.
I see what you're saying. It just the idea of classifying them and then using that to to speak and argue. It's difficult because there's people that don't fall under that name category but don't act that way. So it's not like set in stone. But last thing, so we covered the Rothschild collaborating with the Turkish Sultan to purchase Palestine and Jerusalem. A lot of this really comes from the British military collaborating with the Rothschild financial empire, right? The Rothschilds had the money, the British military had the men. And a lot of this also had to do with regaining power over the 13 colonies.
Is this Fabian Socialism still, specifically?
Yes,
this is still part of
this is
Fabian Socialism thing?
Exactly. This is all under Fabian Socialism. And you could look into the Rhodes, Milner, Ruskin structure, and that will kind of give you a better idea of the role that our independence, our 13 colonies, played in all of this mess. Because they really, the 13 colonies, the foundation of America really triggered these bankers. They really triggered these people, and they saw it as a massive loss of power and control.
Interesting.
And yeah, a lot of this has to do with seizing it back. So it goes pretty. My point is, Zenny, it goes really deep, man. It's, you know, I know you accuse me of just like looking at headlines and stuff, but I beg to differ. Yeah, I beg to differ, man. This takes a lot of research. You have to read a lot of different books. Look into the Devil's Chessboard. Well, actually, yeah, no, that's irrelevant. That talks more about how the CIA was formed out of MI5 and how Mossad was formed out of MI5. So MI5 has a foothold in Mossad and the CIA. You know, we're not controlled by Israelis. We're controlled by Brits. That's my point.
You know what's
that's
funny?
The overlap.
To prove that we are not controlled by Israel, check this out. Our greatest president, Trump, said Israel, he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. In your face. Trump is Israel's daddy. The West Bank is the other side, right? The other side of Israel has the West Bank, and this side of Israel toward the sea is the Gaza Strip, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude,
so that suggests he will let them annex Gaza, maybe. I don't know. They didn't mention that, I heard.
Yeah, well, I could go on this all day, Hake, so I'll let you go on.
You know,
yeah.
Common sense says, even without knowing all of the historical stuff that you're talking about, Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Fabian Society and England and all that stuff, common sense, you look at yourself, you know that the Jays are not the only evil people. The evil is in you, and that's the greater evil. That's the real devil to overcome.
Yeah, dude, you're right. And you give them, stop giving them so much credit, bro. You know, it's like there's such a small population,
right?
And you're just making yourself look so weak.
Yeah,
they're shrinking, and you're just making everyone.
And so are we. We should be joining teams with them where we can, anyway. Working with the good ones like BB. Is BB a good one? Is he one of the good ones?
Dude, I care less about BB. You know, he's fighting for his country, Hake. You know, he's fighting for his state, and I guess I respect him in that sense.
Right.
But you know, obviously, he has his own interests. You know, so
you might be right. Is he part of the dream? Part of your dream team?
Oh no, my dream team is American, baby.
Okay. All right.
No, I like Trump, and we don't have many good leaders anyway.
Were you born here, or were you born in Iraq? I forget.
No, not
or
Iraq.
Egypt.
No, Egypt. No. I'm a first-generation American, so I was born here.
Coptic Christian by way of Egypt, right?
Yeah. My parents had to leave for their own safety because the Muslim Brotherhood was getting riled up and employment wasn't good, and
that's even before Obama. Then that's like a while back, 90s, 80s.
Yeah, this is 80s, 90s exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not cool. You know, it's the type of place where if you don't have a Muslim name, you know, on your ID cards in Egypt, it says whether you're Christian or Muslim. Did you know that?
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can't get a job, you can't get house. You know, it's you're subhuman if you're a Christian.
Whoa. Who knew?
So my family, they didn't want to start a family there.
You ever been?
Oh yeah, a few times. It's pretty bad right now, but it's since the revolution, it's been just strictly military controlled.
Was it Arabic you were speaking with my guest? What's his name? Omar?
Omar, yeah. Yeah.
So did you
Yeah,
grow
I
up
was,
speaking Arabic and English, or what?
yeah, my grandparents raised me because my parents worked all day, and my grandparents only spoke Arabic, so Arabic was like my first language. And
Nice.
then I got into school and I spoke English, but I still hold on, and I obviously speak Coptic because that's the liturgical language we have at our
Wow.
church. So it's pretty diverse.
Well, thank you,
But I sound
Anthony.
American, and I
Yeah,
love
totally,
America.
man.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of young people moving in. I knew guys who they were Spanish speakers, moved in fourth grade, 9 years old, and then there's like the Chinese guy, Howard. I doxed him,
Howard.
and then their English is like totally fine. You wouldn't even know it.
Oh, no
Shout
way.
out to the
Yeah, that's
kids.
first gen, dude. We're a bit different, but dude, I love America, man. Like America over Egypt all day, dude. It's not even a question.
Well, thanks again, man. Appreciate it, Anthony.
Likewise, Hake. Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
All right. We're at the top of the hour. There is one line open. The lines are full. Let me plow through a few of these super chats, I think, right? I feel like there may be some super chats. Yeah, indeed. Carver and Popcorn. My goodness. At this point, just call me Mike gave a big one. Before the show started, 5 coffees. Thank you, man. He says, Lord Hake, you let your Mossad friend spew his poison again. Oh, yeah, I kept him on for 21 more minutes. Yeah, my Mossad friend, that's Anthony, the Coptic Christian from Egypt. Mossad. Mike from the one who goes, "Brr." This is the one who goes, "Brr." By the way, Anthony, my Mossad friend. He even let him spreading lies about my good old buddies from 38 Germany. What a shame. Such a sad way to live. My man did nothing wrong. H-man, he's probably saying. This is a French Canadian. Those French Canadians, man. Just call this guy JF's little brother. Juan Francois. What? Jean-Francois Guerrier. Shout out. He was on The Fallen State one time. JF. Guerrier. However you pronounce it, I don't know. But like you said, all you know about this is pictures that we were shown to you in college. No, it's not college. High school. Well, I don't know. Maybe up there it's called college, but it was high school. 12th grade. College history books, probably written by them. Maybe so. What of it? They like to have facts. Here are some real historical facts. 1939, further centralization occurred with the bank presidents and board receiving direct instructions from the man himself. And it was renamed the Deutsche Reichsbank. Then the war started. Follow the money. I don't believe in following the money necessarily. Yeah, I mean, follow the money, yeah, but you can't infer or assume that just because money happened, that means that was the motivation or somebody's controlled somebody. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Nobody cared about the deportation camps, claimed he. Here's the other facts. The most notable pre-1945 writing is the report from the ICRC delegate Maurice Rossel's visit to Theresienstadt. I'm pronouncing it like Spanish. On June 23rd, 1944, accompanied by Danish Red Cross representatives. This is going way over my head. Rossel's report described the ghetto being where Jewish people were relegated in the neighborhoods, not to be confused with black ghettos. Positively, conditions as a privileged residence, no deportations to the east, and Jews benefiting from certain privileges. I bet you the Jewish ghettos were nicer than the black ghettos, because Jewish people tend to be they make do wherever they're put. Right? Whereas these black, I mean, especially with the single mother stuff, just total dysfunction, and the black identity mess. On September 27th to 29th, Rossel made an unofficial brief stop at Auschwitz's. Parcels were delivered intact, distributed aid fairly, with punishments for theft. No mention of extermination facilities. He described Jews as having privileges and passed by the crematorium without probing. Sorry, that was a long coffee emoji with laughing faces with tears coming out. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's motive to lie and motive to believe a lie on many sides. I don't know. I could care less, which means I care a little, but I don't really care. Carver bought a coffee. Hey, Hake. Thanks, Carver. Hey, what a slugfest yesterday. Amazing show with some really wild callers. I think it's crazy that people don't acknowledge the Epstein women of loose morals as willing participants. Yeah. And you know what? That's what I wanted to talk to Mark about, really, if I had the sense and the inner stillness to do. But Lin Yan Shin knows me all too well. Mouth breather. Teenagers are not helpless and infallible, says Carver. They do bad things. Yeah, I remember being a teenager. I remember being 9 and being kind of evil. I remember my friends were really degenerate at 9. Well, one of them, he was one of the ones who didn't even speak English. So you know he was corrupt. Edgar. And you don't know which Edgar, there were many. Teenagers are not helpless and infallible. When what some of your callers would refer to as a bad picnicker does something wrong, there is no hesitation to consider them an adult. That's right. Yeah. Teens, they call them. Teens. You know these blacks? A 12-year-old commits murder with switches. Over in, what's that city that I covered in Mississippi? Jackson, Mississippi. Exactly. You consider them an adult. Somehow these girls, these 17-year-old poor, innocent Gentile girls raised by evil, lame-o, ridiculous Gentile parents, or one. Give me a break. It takes 2 to tango. Thank you, Carver. And if you really want to save the whites, you don't just blame the Jays. You blame the evil, lame-o, ridiculous parents and these girls themselves being evil, turning, playing victim. And then even, doesn't the Bible say, Carver, I'm stepping all over your coffee, but you got me going. Doesn't the Bible say, don't believe women? I think it says somewhere in, does the Bible say you need testimony of a man, not a woman? I don't know if this is worded correctly. No, the Bible does not say testimony is exclusively men. However, Deuteronomy 19:15 requires 2 or 3 witnesses. Yeah, I've heard 2 or 3 witnesses, yeah. And they could both be lying, by the way. And 1 Timothy 5:19 mentions a man and a woman in legal or judicial matters. There is a cultural precedent that women's testimony was not always admissible. Yeah. But the Bible shows instances where a woman's testimony was accepted, such as in the case of Jesus' empty tomb. Jesus' empty tomb. On the word of 2 witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. Do not admit a charge against an elder except on the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. Cultural norms. Legal tradition. First century Jewish culture often excluded women's testimony from legal matters because they knew that women just lie. And according to Michael Tracy, that woman, Virginia Giuffre, was a serial fabricator, his words. P.S. Did you cover the awesome story about, this is back to Carver, right? I don't want to get too carried away. Did you cover the awesome story about Greta Thunberg? Greta Thunberg getting her flotilla radio comms hijacked by Abba music blasting 24/7? I don't even know what flotilla is. Let's see how much of a boomer I am. Let's find out. What's flotilla? New York Post reports. Fox News reports. What's a flotilla? What? Oh. Casa flotilla? A fleet of ships or boats. Oh, she has a fleet? Oh. And so Abba was playing. You know what was in my head or just earlier today? Dancing Queen, you and me. Climate activist Gaza Aid Mission blames Israel for looping Swedish pop songs for hours. Funny. She's Swedish, right? Greta Thunberg. She's the one with this thing. Her anti-Semitic little, well, they call it a plushie. I call it a stuffed animal, octopus. Look how long these tentacles are, far-reaching in many arms in many places. That's them. Anti-Semitic. All one word, no hyphen, to make it seem more real. Angry. And then it pretends to be happy. Shout out, Carver. I think Carver sent this to me. But I don't show it on my show as much anymore because the Fallen State producer made fun of me for being a grown man having he called it a plushie on my screen. Well, I used to have like a rebel flag right here looking all tough, and then I had a plushie thing, but at least it was anti-Semitic. But it wasn't really anti-Semitic, it was just autistic. This is how we autistic people express our feelings. Hake angry. Hake happy. But I'm not autistic, I don't think. So thank you, Carver. No, I hadn't known about that. No, I didn't cover that story. Thank you, man. That's funny. Leo bought a coffee. Hake, emergency turkey hair transplant fundraiser. Thank you, Leo. No, man, I'm too proud. It's already too late. Here's my theory about what's happened or happening. Other than that, it seems to be happening to all my siblings as well, except for the sister, of course. But I think it's a matter of stressing your body. I mentioned this the other week. When you stress your body, and also when you get old naturally, it just kind of happens, I guess. But when my theory, conspiracy theory about how this stuff happens with some of us is that if you're a high-stress person, it happens more. And it's not just that you're stressing out with your feelings, but also what you do in response to this stress, eating and drinking and not sleeping and stuff like that. So I think it's the, I don't know. You guys told me to quit the energy drinks. But no, I'd rather just let it be. I tend to be pro all natural I'm too proud to be doing that fake stuff. This is hair transplants. You know, Elon Musk does look great with whatever he did. I don't know if it's natural or not. I don't know if he just got healthy and his natural hair just grew back. I don't think that happens. I think that once it's gone, but I'm not sure. Some people do, like they get alopecia and they can grow it back, meaning splotchy bald spots. One of my friends got splotchy bald spots and he grew it back, but that's different from normal male pattern baldness or receding hair or thinning hair or whatever you want to call what's going on. So, man, I forget. Oh, it's like women. These women get all this plastic surgery stuff. The only plastic surgery that I really believe in is for burn victims and the like. If you get disfigured somehow, there's people who've gotten their eye shot out or something like that. I'm for, facial reconstruction or whatever. That part's cool. I'm with it. But all these so-called enhancements and all that, it's cheating. And I'd rather you just get healthier again and live with what is. I grew up with my uncles being bald, and bald is beautiful. Not that I thought my uncles were beautiful, but I didn't think they looked bad. It just looks fine. Some people wear it better than others. All right, so I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out a way to wear it better. But it's not bald. It's just receded. They call it a widow's peak, and that sounds cool. And then they also call it a bald spot, but it's not bald. It's just thin. Anyway, Leo, thank you for the coffee. I'm not going to Turkey for that stuff. Popcorn's Thump Keg says, you guys recently reposted a couple old JLP David Pakman interviews. Yeah. In my opinion, those interviews really, Lord have mercy, laid bare the disconnect that exists when someone is trying to explain a very simple concept and it gets turned around. I'm not bashing or being disrespectful, but by pointing out how even when Jesse or you are objectively wrong, you have this ability to reframe things in your favor. To your credit, though, you did offer pushback at the end and explained to Jesse that David was trying to have a conversation, but you turned right around and said he wouldn't address you on your level, meaning he wouldn't answer the real question. Jesse tries his hardest to make things black and white, but doesn't seem to understand nuance. He may or may not. He's actually much more bright. He's much brighter and more perceptive than you realize, because I find you very dull, actually, Popcorn. Or to use Anchor Baby's word, obtuse. The light perceives the darkness or pierces the darkness, but the darkness perceives it not. And that's what's going on with David Pakman, being not a simple man. He is a complicated man, using the term man very loosely, compared to a simple, straightforward man of light and truth, such as JLP or Trump. That's why a lot of these Jewish people who are sophisticated, even the conservative ones, they don't see the brilliance of our greatest president, Trump. Because Trump is simple and they're complicated. Simply put, the transgender reassignment crap is not, for example, progressive. Such a beautiful word, but it means liberal. Jesse, in your article, you said Women's March protesters were not paid. David, Jesse, do you understand the difference between protesters were not paid and saying there's no evidence that they were paid? Is that a distinction you understand? Jesse said, I thought you had evidence that the women were not paid. Evidently, you didn't. From there, it was off the rails. In a similar way, I think you both are purposely trolling on the Great White Hope hatred thing. Oh, see? That's that lack of perception. That's why I was trying to ask Mark, can you read a man? Can you see the spirit underneath? Can you even just detect the attitude underneath it? Trump, bright, light attitude. Mark, dark, evil, angry, bitter, fearful, worried attitude. You can't get Trump to worry. Many people pointed out the so-called double standard. He didn't say so-called. You have for him and other people, but it's like you double down out of stubbornness and try to shine the light back on them. Would you consider inviting David on your show? He's too much of a snake. I don't know if I would. He's shown himself to be a nasty, evil person. It's kind of like inviting Destiny on my show right now. I like Destiny. David is just... Pakman? No. Like, there's nothing honest about Pakman. Anyway, yeah, but I think it's just you're blind, man. And I know that you're frustrated by my saying that you're blind, you're intellectual, you're in your head, you're judging. But let me see if there's any way that I can help you. I don't think that you want help though. But for those, because so many people are blinded by this Trump saying, and you corner somebody on it, Derek, the producer. You corner that guy from Texas who called me about it, who thinks that Trump shouldn't have said it. And they admit, it's like he was joking. Did you detect any hatred in his voice, in his demeanor? You can't. You won't, because there is none, seemingly. What a mess. So thank you guys for your super chats. That was fun. Nice. Popcorn. Coffee. Receding hair. Turkish transplant. Let's call it that. What a mess. That's gross. Coffee. Carver on Greta. Abba. Abba is Dancing Queen, right? And then coffee. Mike on H. And Germany. No, we'll just call it H. Because, I don't know. What a mess. Ike says, Mike, you don't have to tell if you're sorry. Hake gonna kiss the wall soon. Do. Feelings don't care about your facts. So ridiculous. Okay, let me double check over on Rumble. What's up, Rumble crew? Old Saucy. Age of Inversion. Greta. Forgive yo mama. Flying Monkey. And they're just in their own little worlds, it seems like sometimes. Like, they don't even care. What's up to Misty? Always a faithful viewer. Taking care of business? No, I'm not into anime. I didn't steal anything that I know of. Maybe I would copied something somebody else said and they stole it from that. I don't know. Nice. All right. Sweet. And Cesar or Cesar with a coffee. Real quick. This is important. I like to read his on time if I can. Sup, Hake? That was an awesome moment on yesterday's show where you let the two callers battle it out. It was pretty epic, but Zenny got way too emotional. Yep. I don't have much today, just relaxing on my vacation and enjoying your show. Have a safe weekend, everyone. Cool sunglasses emoji. 3 coffees. Thank you, Cesar or Caesar. Very nice. It's funny that, speaking of division, what did HADEN just get through saying? That the whites should not be divided, and then Mark and I started fighting again. It's terrible. Let me double check. Gregatron, thanks again, man, for your payday support. Cesar. Zenny, too emotional. And he knew it, too. He knew it. You're cussing up a storm on that G-rated Hake report. In the world. What's up, Panto King? Mark does not understand what parables mean. And he shares this. Let's see. If we mosey on over to... let me show you a secret. A secret. You go to the HakeReport.com and you see this Hake splash thing right here on the beach. You click it, and it moseys right over to... moseys right over to my stream. And then I sent you guys this link, and here's this link.
I can see Jesus.
I can see Jesus. Let's see if this is too loud.
Jesus.
A sower went out to sow his seed.
That's how he sounded, too.
As he scattered the grain, some of it fell by...
I don't know why people think that this is blonde. That's not blonde. That's brown hair. I've never seen a blonde Jesus, except for the caricatures put out by blacks.
...the path and was walked on. And the birds of the air devoured it.
As a kid.
And some fell on rocky ground. And when the plants sprouted, they withered away because they...
I better not get a copy strike on this, Pantro, or whoever shared this with me. Yeah, Pantro. They withered away because...
had no moisture.
They had no moisture. Okay, so it's like sort of light brown hair, but it's still brown.
Some seeds...
That's not blonde.
...fell among thorns.
It's not even dirty blonde. It's not even sandy blonde hair. Sorry.
And the thorns grow up with the plants...
You notice everybody else is black haired next to him.
...and choked them. And some seeds fell in good soil. And the plants grew...
This better not get me a copyright.
...bore grain. 100 grains each.
Master, why do you speak in parables whenever a crowd is near?
The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of God has been given to you. But to others it comes by means of parables, so they may look but not see, and listen but not understand.
I can see Jesus.
Nice. Thank you, Punto King. That's cool. Yeah, so let me say hello to you guys. Hey, guys. But you'll see it before you hear me say it because there's a delay. All right, so very nice. Thank you, everybody. And if you want to find my Facebook page, too bad. Oh, you can probably find it through this thing, my link tree. I do have a link tree. So cool. Right? See, there's the Facebook. It's not very active, but there are people there. See, there's Ponto King. Cool, huh? Doxed. All right. Let's mosey on back into the show, shall we? I think we shall. I might not have wanted to do that. We have 30 minutes to go, less, actually. Let me get to Alex out of California. How you doing, Alex? Thanks for calling and holding.
Hake there.
Hey.
All right, we'll zip through just so other people can get their calls in too.
Always appreciate
First
it.
things first, shout out to David Ocala. His workout routine that he suggested for you is actually very effective. I've been trying that for about a week or two now.
Right on.
Where you do the max weight and the medium and then a max weight again, roughly is what he was saying. And it definitely works. So I would recommend doing that with your push-ups.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Pull-ups, whatever. So I recently heard the quote-unquote true meaning of turn the cheek, and I wanted to know if you've heard this before. So basically, what was explained was that the Romans used to torture and execute people by striking them in the head while they would wear, basically gloves that had, brass knuckle type deal to it. And the deal was they were not allowed to hit you in the face directly because it was seen as a sign of disrespect. So they would hit you on, the top and the side of the head. And the Christians' way, to, give them the middle finger was to turn the other cheek and allow them to hit the other side of your head. Have you ever heard this before?
No, I hadn't. The what I had heard was not that it had anything to do with brass knuckles or anything type of instrument, but that it was in those days. When you were growing up in high school, did your friends ever say, "Can I slap you"?
There was slap type games. Yeah, I never.
But it wasn't a game. It wasn't a game. It was when you were saying something stupid.
Oh yeah. Everyone's heard that.
Yeah, and in those days, they really did slap you if they felt that you said something stupid, and so they would slap you, and that was a public humiliation and insult. And so it wasn't that it hurt your ego. And so rather than react the way normally you would, you turn the other cheek that they, kind of anyway. So meaning not responding in the revengeful way just to protect your ego.
Okay.
Or hurt their ego back.
Yeah, because everyone's got their little opinion on what it means, and a lot of people attack Christians and say it's a form of weakness, and
right.
Have all these.
They pretend like somebody commits murder or somebody's murdering you. You let them murder you, and you let them murder your family too, or something like that. Or they murder your family, and you let them murder you too, or you let them off. And that's not what that means at all. It's your ego. A lot of people get all up in their ego about a murder, just like that woman did. That Erica Kirk, she's all, I want to address on Friday, the couple days after the murder, the assassination, she's like, to address his killer, you won't win. We're going to be bigger than ever. That's ego. She did not turn the other cheek.
I naturally always thought of it as is that all you got? Hit me again. Here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I was, even as a little kid, that's what I interpreted it as.
Interesting. As
being
be
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really hurt? That's a
Right, exactly.
Because in reality, it didn't really hurt.
Pain is temporary, for most part, for most people.
Yeah, because a slap it may leave a little mark for half an hour.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, that little half an hour of pain, I mean, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters, right? So,
yeah,
slap.
But it's so funny because if you ever been in a fight or hit your head and you just get mad about it?
That's why I avoid fighting, because I don't have the gift of that discipline. You know, those MMA guys, they get hit and they don't care. I'm not there yet.
Right, yeah. But that's that impulsive identity with the body, annoyance. I don't know what it is. It's an attachment to the body. There's like an emotional reaction.
Yeah, you can stub your toe on like the side of a wall, and then you want to punch the wall.
Yeah,
person.
It's like you're mad at yourself, you're mad at the wall, you're mad at the world.
Last little thing. I'll just frame it this way. I had the wildest dream yesterday that I was scrolling through Reels and came across this conspiracy theory. And in this wild dream, that's totally not true at all. This conspiracy was saying that Charlie Kirk's microphone was set to explode, just like the pagers did with the Jays versus the Hezbollah.
Wow.
But I mean, it's just a wild dream that I had.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. That's remarkable. That's a remarkable dream.
All right, Hake, you get to some more colors.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it as always. Take care. Alex in California. Always pithy, too. Serendipitous out of Ohio. A nom de plume. First-time caller, Serendipitous. Thanks for calling and holding. How you doing?
I'm so good today, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you and Jesse for doing what you do, for helping us work out our little demons.
Nice.
So I want to share something with you that I didn't really know existed. Of course, I know racism exists because I'm Spanish, Mexican, Indian, and Scandinavian. And each one of those want me to choose a side, right? And so I kind of let all of that go. I let my heritage or anything I had learned in my home go. And then I became an artist. I started doing portraits, and I ran into more racism in my art than I had in the workplace or other places, almost as deep as it was in the home. And it's very confusing. Like the Mexicans say, why aren't you drawing more Mexican culture? In fact, I got kicked out of a couple of Hispanic and Latino artist clubs because my stuff wasn't Spanish or Mexican enough. And then the Indians would say, well, why aren't you doing more for your Indian heritage? And then the blacks would say, where are we at? You know? And I had no idea what I was walking into when I would go to display my art. And it's frustrating and very confusing. And so I wanted to share that with you because it's a real thing. It's just like the Christians and Jews and the Democrats and the Republicans. Like it gets kind of vicious out there.
Definitely.
In the art world.
Yeah. Nice. So typical. That's the world for you. And so have you traded your identity, your racial ethnic identity for the artist identity?
I have. I think I have. I don't know. I'm still pretty confused by it because I want to draw what my hand takes the brush and it puts down the art. And sometimes I'm really surprised by what I see. And I don't want to change it, you know. And I don't know. It's just kind of confusing. I feel like I should not give the person any color at all. Maybe they should be purple or blue. But then I don't want to change it because
So does the
confusing.
the person whom you're painting a picture of a real person, a real life person?
Yeah, I paint pictures of memories that I have.
Okay.
Like if I see, like I'm doing a sketch of Jesse. I've done sketches of, stars when I'm watching a movie. I'll do a sketch of them. And then I share those things. And then people go, well, you know, my Mexican side of the family will say, why aren't you drawing Mexicans? And the Indian side of the family will say, why aren't you drawing more Indians? Why aren't you putting our themes in there? Like, where's the feathers? Where's the chains? And it's just so confusing because I think art is art, and art heals, and art is freedom. Just like the guy that did the Charlie Kirk painting. He painted that came from his heart and soul, and he put beautiful work down on the canvas. And
I didn't know somebody did a painting
of
of Charlie Kirk. I guess I should have known that. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting.
Of course, there's somebody
too.
would. So he got.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Kirk is a polarizing figure because the world is so evil and hateful. And so same thing with you. David in the chat asks a great question. Who cares what they think?
Well, I mean, it's art. So the artist wants people to see their art. They want to show it because they're proud of their art, and to them it's beautiful. And when the person who's viewing it wants to critique it or be cruel, I have found that that's quite often.
People are often cruel. Critique is important for art, right? Kind of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you need some critique.
Yeah, but their critique involves their
biases,
religion yes. And I think to myself, well, look.
Why don't you? Well, disregard that part of it and accept what makes sense.
I feel you, and I know that deep down inside. I just wanted to share that it's a real thing. Like, it's a struggle.
What's a real thing?
Being shamed not only by your family, but sometimes the viewer in other places of your art for it not being what they think you should be representing of yourself. Like, it's a tough little stuff. I know. I'm confused too. I get it.
No, well, I just don't know what to say because this whole thing is just vanity anyway. Like, your concern about it is just vanity. What does it matter? Are you making money off of it?
I do. Some people buy my art, and that's very nice, but I don't make it for people to buy. I would just give it away. But now I've stepped back from it just a tiny bit until I get my head together because I don't know where I want to put my art. That people would just see it for the art that it is and not bring which is impossible. We can't.
I'll tell you two things. I'll tell you two things if you want my advice.
I do. That's why I called.
Okay. Drop this artist identity thing. Because that's another identity that you're all into, and it's so dependent on other people's opinions, and you're so swayed by their opinions and judging them for their opinions, and they're judging you for your art, and it's just mess. It's not important.
What a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. It's racism isn't real. They're just into their false identity, just like you're into your false identity. That's why you're distraught about this art thing, to the point where it's putting you in such a tizzy that you don't even want to do the art anymore. And I don't know whether you should or shouldn't be doing the art, but they're emotionally affecting you about something that shouldn't even be a concern to you at all.
I'm definitely going to use that anytime it pops up into my head, especially like when I share it with my auntie. I'm like, look, auntie, look what and she's like, oh, Hita, why are you not, And I'm like, oh, come on. Can't you just say good job?
Maybe you should drop some of the ego and paint what other people want to see.
Ew.
You? The best people make stuff that has mass appeal. That's just undeniable. The best artists.
I just don't paint what I want. Honestly, my brush paints. I don't know how to express that, but I don't sit down with the intention of painting a color. I pick up the brush and it appears.
Is it oil or watercolor or
it's both. It's both oil, watercolor,
Acrylic?
and I use acrylic sometimes. Acrylic dries too fast, so it's hard to see.
I know.
But, yeah. But I appreciate you talking that out, because I think that, people should know, like, it's not just, it's everywhere. And by it, I mean the judgment of why aren't you more like me, or why can't you represent me more in what you're doing?
I don't know if you heard Mark. I don't know if you heard Mark on my show. He's completely judging me, thinking that I should be about what he's about.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah.
But that doesn't. That's. You want them to be more like you. You notice that?
I just want them to just appreciate somebody's effort. Like, I don't even want you to like my art. I put the effort into that. And if you're going to stop and take a look at it and you don't like it, at the very least, appreciate your effort, or shut the fuck up and move on. Oops, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You sound like Zenny yesterday. You're so heated about this subject.
I'm so
I can
sorry.
tell you're Latina. You're part Latina,
I
right?
apologize. Yeah, I'm Spanish and Indian, and
Oh, maybe that's that
Scandinavian.
That's that indigenous malice coming out of you.
Ay, ay, ay.
You remind me of this other gal who used to call in, but don't worry about it. The kids know not to say that, I think.
Yeah, I apologize.
I accept. Don't even worry about it. But serendipitous.
Yes, sir.
All of everything that you just expressed about appreciating effort, that's liberal stuff. Liberal people want credit for effort, but effort doesn't cut it. People can't necessarily appreciate effort. Effort gets you 2 viewers on YouTube.
Well, as a manager,
it's 90%
I've always...
talent, 200% skill,
Well,
100% reason to remember my name.
You're awesome.
It's like me being mad PewDiePie has more subscribers than me and counting. They're not going to necessarily appreciate it. And you're basically, like I said, wanting the world to think like you do or go your way, but you can't.
Honestly, Hank, I just wish that they wouldn't tell me what they're thinking.
Yeah, but so then don't show it to. Well, learn. Don't show your family the art. But you're right. All the art is vanity, and you want the reaction. It's so interesting, man. I can relate because I did art too in college, so nice. It's Hake, right? Hake.
Yeah, and have I been saying it wrong?
Well, you said Hank, which is fun and it's fine, but just to clarify, just to make sure that people know.
No. Yeah, I appreciate it. You called me serendipitous, and so I want to make sure I am definitely calling you Hake.
Oh, okay. And serendipitous is what you want me to call you, right? Or no?
Sure. I mean, that's what my little
Derek
name
clarified that you wanted to go by a false name for safety, but it's also your online artist's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Serendipitous. I wish you well. You make sure you stick with watching yourself.
Yes, sir. And my silent prayer.
Don't be a Jew
turn
blamer.
into you guys every day. A Jew blamer. Don't be a Mexican hater, Gigi. Okay, have a really good day, Hank.
You too. Take care. Fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See? Isn't that nice? Let's get to Stephen in Maryland. I got to get to Stephen in Maryland. How you doing, Stephen?
Hey, how you doing?
Even Stephen.
Even Stephen. I changed my topic altogether now. I was going to talk about Mark, because he hates Jews. And Jesse says, you turn into who you hate.
That's right. Totally.
That means he's a Jew, because his first name is Mark anyway. That's a Jewish name.
Wow.
And then we're going to travel. This is what I decided to talk about anyway. The guy from the Muslim country.
Yes.
I think that's the same thing as over in America here. Because, when he said the Christians could not get a job because they wasn't Muslim, right? He didn't say anything about qualifications. He didn't say anything about IQ. But the Muslims just got the job period, and the Christians didn't.
Yeah.
And that sounds familiar.
Oh, you think that that's how it was with the blacks?
Yeah, over here, same thing.
The blacks are doing fine, though, because they had plenty of people to work amongst themselves.
Yeah, what about the Christians over there?
The Christians made their own way, I guess.
No, and they left. Like the guy said, they left and came over here.
Yeah, but you didn't leave and go anywhere else.
Where am I going?
You didn't have to leave because we let you be a air traffic controller or whatever you were. I forget. We were so nice to you.
I earned that. I went to school and everything.
Yeah.
Down in good old Mississippi, Cesar Air Force Base.
Nice.
Yeah, and another thing about Charlie Jerk, I call him Charlie Jerk. I don't call him Charlie.
Why are you calling him a jerk? That's not right. You're a jerk.
No, okay.
Wait, why are you calling him a jerk?
Well, it's his statements he makes.
What statements did he make that you ever heard before he died?
One of them about gang members, right? The people started asking about
what did
murder.
you heard something? Did you hear his statements before he died? Were you aware of him?
No, I've never even heard of him.
Oh, see, then you don't know anything about Charlie Kirk. All you know is just cherry pick stuff to try to make him look bad. That's why you call him a jerk. Typical. You are the jerk. But go ahead.
Okay. That's not being a jerk.
But you are. I mean, it's not even. You're judging him based on biased, false reporting, biased, dishonest. But go ahead. All
right.
Typical black.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
All right. But I want to know now. I'm going to Jess's bag now. What's wrong with the white?
Oh, so you move. So you don't even mind talk. You don't even want to talk about Charlie Kirk. I just debunked everything.
Yeah, I'm just going on past it. I'm done with that.
All right. Nice. Do you accept that? Do you accept that? Do you believe that you were falsely brainwashed?
No, I'm not brainwashed.
No, you were totally brainwashed against Charlie Kirk.
Brainwashed that quick?
Yeah, that quick.
5 minutes?
No, not by me. You were brainwashed by in the weeks since his death. You heard of him, and you heard supposed quotes from him. And you're misjudging those quotes because you don't have the full context, and you're a blind man.
Okay.
Spiritually blind.
I got my white cane and everything.
Yep.
No,
you don't know you're blind. You're just you're following the blind, and you're both gonna fall into a pit.
Okay.
You're already in the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Can't climb out. But
you're tripping.
like I said,
you're falling. You can't get up. You know you're tripping. What? Go ahead.
Okay. Why is it? Why is it that?
Do you like DMX?
Say what?
Did you like DMX when he was alive? The rapper?
I don't go for rap music. I don't like rappers.
Oh, well, I don't like you.
Oh, okay.
Go
right
ahead.
along. Hey.
It was a DMX song. You're tripping, you're falling, and you can't get up.
I'm not going to commit suicide or anything like that.
Good.
Sure.
No, he overdosed.
That's right along. Don't believe.
Or
Okay,
something.
that's what you said. Fine. Now, going back to the sharpshooter, why is there always white sharpshooters that kill people?
Because whites aim high.
But it's horrible.
It is.
Like Charlie Jerk got shot in the neck.
You're still calling him a jerk, man. Why are you calling yourself a jerk?
Yeah, okay. Look, the bullet hit him before the sound.
You might be right. I don't know. It was 200 yards away or something like that.
200 yards away.
So does the bullet travel faster than the speed of?
Travel
faster than the speed of sound.
Yes, sir.
Speed of sound. I guess that's why it makes that bang, huh? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I learned that in school a long time ago.
Maybe.
So
yeah, that's.
So why is that, Charlie? I mean, Hake?
Because, like I said, the whites have their murders are more aspirational than the black murders. Black murders, they just murder one another, whereas the whites want to.
That's right. They don't do it in mass.
The whites want to do it for the name, and If they just
Black
kill their
kill other
family, they
black.
won't make a name for themselves.
No, they kill crooks. One crook is killing another crook.
What, Charlie Kirk
If
a
you
crook
over
now?
drug, one crook
Oh, the blacks
kills
kill
another
one.
crook.
Yeah, a black crook kills another black crook.
It's over drugs or territory, something like that.
Whatever the case, it's all ego.
We don't do random shootings.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
Well, regardless, it's all ego. So you think not doing a random shooting is better than doing a random shooting? I get the innocent people, completely innocent people, still get killed in the ghettos as well, buddy. But the deeper point is, evil is evil, and just because the black evil looks a little bit different from the white evil, doesn't make the blacks better than the whites, buddy.
No. So killing is evil, black or white.
Thank you. That's right.
No.
That's
degree.
right.
So why do you say black people are evil in Old Town?
Because
but
they
not
are.
White?
I don't
What
say
about the
whites are not evil. You will never hear me say whites are not evil.
Yeah, you say it all the time.
No.
Like you said, all these gangs.
You sound like Mark. I told Mark he's angry, and then Mark accuses me of saying I'm not angry. Just because Mark is clearly angry doesn't make me angry or not angry. We're talking about Mark, but he has to change the subject on me, just like blacks have to change the subject on whites because blacks don't want to face the ego pain of facing themselves, just like Mark doesn't want to face the ego pain of facing himself.
Well, Mark needs to forgive his mother. Next time, have you forgiven your mother?
That's not my kick. That's JLP sees to do that.
Well, say it for him, because he hasn't forgiven his mother yet.
I feel like those words would fall flat out of my mouth. They have life in Jesse's mouth, but they would fall flat. Mark would be like, Jesus, I've heard of. The demon in Mark would be like, Jesus, I've heard of, and Jesse, I know, but who are you? And then the demon would come out and attack me, like in the Bible.
Oh,
tear me apart.
Demonic forces.
Yeah, completely. Can you hear the demon in Mark?
No, I just hear anger. That's all.
That's what the demon is.
Anger and bitterness.
Yeah, and then you have a silly impish demon in you.
He's a lonely old miserable.
You don't
man.
know that. Be quiet.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You can tell that.
You think you're so good.
Have you ever said anything good?
Has he ever what?
Said anything good?
Yeah.
Only thing he
says he tells me, Hake, you're a great American. I love you, and God bless.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He says that all the time. Well, he does. I don't know about the great American part, but he says, I love you, God bless. It's nice.
No, he don't. He doesn't mean it. That means he's
You
a
don't know
hypocrite.
that, man.
You know he doesn't mean that.
Just because he's a dark, evil person doesn't mean that you're this great person and you judging him.
Oh, I ain't say I was great. I'm just a good person.
No.
Like Jesse said.
No, you can be great. You can't be good. Men can be great, but men are not good.
I'm good. I'm not great.
Well, then you're lame. You're ridiculous.
Yeah, of course.
You're typical.
I have my fallacies too. You know.
Fallacies?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
I don't think that's the correct word, but you're black, so I cut you some slack.
What's the word I need?
Shortcomings, maybe something like that.
That's what I said. I got that.
You said fallacies. Fallacies is like, fallacies is like, you're stupid, therefore you're wrong. Just because you're stupid doesn't mean you're wrong.
Okay, so I said I'm wrong.
That's an ad hominem fallacy.
It's still being something wrong. I don't care how you say it. I have my fallacy.
You know, I'm at 30 seconds until the end of my show, or 40 really, but it's more like 35. And so take care, Stephen and Maryland. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you have a good weekend.
All right, you as well. So unfortunately, everybody, Alan in Michigan, Jermaine in Canada, Rick in Hampton, VA. The Fallen State is coming up next. You may be able to call into American Anchor Baby on one of his call-in lines, maybe his alternative one. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye, everyone. Take care.